Alright, last time on Cuba Libre, you were found floating in an area, in a pool of water. It's not pool, the ocean, if you will, of sharks in a
Really
sea.
big pool.
A very large pool of salt water, otherwise known as an ocean. You were floating and there were sharks, and several of your crew members. You had been attacked while you were on board the Diablo Lito. You are pirates there. In the frenzy and the slaughter that was happening, you guys decided to take your chance and follow your quartermaster overboard. You were fended off some sharks and were picked up by the Grandma 2, which was flying a flag for the new Republic of Cuba. You eventually learned that this ship or this boat was being piloted by several Shadowrunners. With their help, you guys reclaimed your ship. You managed to kill the vampire who had attacked the ship and slaughtered a lot of your crew members and enslaved them. You then returned. You are now currently returning to Cuba, along with still on the Grand Mod 2 with the Shadowrunners who saved you. For your actual ship, you stashed it kind of off the beaten path. Needs a lot of repairs to really sail again. And you left two of your teammates on board of that, Raul and Petra. I believe you took Attila, who was the quartermaster, back with you, as he was wounded and in need of medical attention. So that is currently where you are, headed back to Havana. I believe that you discovered that the Shadowrunners were tracing down your boat because you were hired as pirates to steal zombie powder from ships that belong to the Zopop, and particularly to Mama Pavres. And that was part of the motivation for getting it back. So you've got the cargo. Your ship is free of vampires, and I think beaten and a little sore, you are making the trip back to Havana. When we start today, the sun will just be rising off on the horizon, and you will be pulling up to one of the ports in Havana, the one that I believe is fairly near Old Havana. As you do, the two Shadowrunners that you're with, in particular, you've been talking to, is Sledge and Thunder. Thunder will let you know when you guys are getting close, and she will ask, "What's your plan when you to get to Havana?" They're gonna have to go drop the zombie powder off with Mama. Maybe you have your own plans, or if you need any help getting anywhere else before you guys part ways. That's where you're currently at. Whoever's around. I believe Mako said he was going to be spending a lot of time still just kind of down with the engines on the ship. Titan, I think, is feeling a little rough, if I remember from our last fight. So
Little
maybe.
rough. It's
Is that
not little. It's not the word I use.
okay. So Thunder probably then is talking to Capsize, who I think's doing a little better, right? You're up and about.
Yeah, wasn't really hurt by it. I only got my arm mangled by the shark, so it was just my armor that really took most of
Okay.
the damage.
All right. Yeah. So Thunder will be talking to you and asking in particular, like, what's your plan from here? As you are pretty much the surviving a crew of probably about 20 or more. There's only about 8 of you left. So the 4 of you being in the best condition, I think.
No, that's a good question. Ooh, I don't know. Shit's really fucked up right now. I think we'd have to. Well, we gotta get that ship back. Uh, I'll just go yell at Titan until we figure out what's going on.
Okay. You can go find Titan. What is Titan up to during this ride back? It'll take you, like I said, it's taking several hours to get back to Havana, so you guys have time to chit chat about your plan.
He will be sitting down because he is covered in wounds at the moment, and his armor is kind of trashed.
All right.
Titan, where's Mako? We need to figure out what we're doing.
Don't know. Too sad.
Yeah, we're all sad, buddy. Now, you just sit here. I'm gonna go find Mako. We're gonna have a little team meeting, okay?
Fine.
Um, Capsize will then proceed to just like start yelling Mako, or like as he walks around the top of the ship until he hears a voice.
Let's see, Mako's out of the engine room, so he may not actually hear you. You may have to come stumbling in down there before you find him, kind of elbow deep in grease and wrenches.
Yeah. Mako, we gotta talk about something up on top deck. Like, what are we doing now? Can't just fix these people's boats, because we gotta get our boat back. But when we get to Havana, how's our plan?
Thought it was fairly obvious. We're gonna have to go talk to Ginger Snap. It's her boat, not ours. And she's gonna be pissed.
Have to.
I don't see another option.
Just send Titan with like a I'm sorry and maybe like a box of chocolates.
We could try it. I'm not sure that she'll take it, but I think it's a good first step. Now we've got to go explain to her why the whole mission went to hell and why nobody came back but us.
Guess we gotta get Attila to a hospital or something too.
Yeah, too.
Legs mangled. Everything went to shit way too fast.
Yeah, it did.
We'll get you another engine to work on soon enough. Probably you're going to be the only one to get that boat out there, back to the docks. You know her better than anyone.
Yeah, she said the crap beat out of her, but she's still seaworthy.
We can't leave Raoul and Petra there. Not for long, at least.
No, not after getting him out of all this.
Titan's pretty beat up too. I'm sure he'll be okay, but maybe we should stop. Trip to the doctors might be needed.
No, that's a fair point. Gotta get him patched up before we can get the boat back. What about you? How'd you fare?
I'm just more angry that that big old shark took a bite out of my armor, but good shape.
After all we saw, you're still worried about the shark. Make
It
him
was
balance
huge.
out to himself. That it was.
Oh, the vampire ship was kind of freaky too, but I'd rather not remember that too much.
Those eyes will haunt me for the rest of my life.
All right. So after you take some time, chit chat with each other. Like I said, the ship, under guise of Hardpoint, I believe, who is currently jumped into it, a dwarf rigger on the runner team, will pull it into kind of a low-style marina. It's very low-key. It looks like this is the kind of place where smugglers will come out of it. The docks and whatnot are not in the best of repair, but everything seems to be functional and operating fairly well. It is a short skip and a distance to Old Havana. And I said the sun has just begun to rise. As the runners start kind of gathering up their stuff and getting their gear, Sledge goes off and looks like he tells Thunder he's going to get a car. And him and Slim take off down the marina to get their ride. Thunder will look at the three of you and tell you that she'll, it looks like I've done the most I can to patch up your wounds, but you're going to need someone better than me, unfortunately. You might want long-term care. That's while looking at Titan. It's like, after we drop your zombie powder, I can take Attila here to a street dock that I know. Perhaps your friend over there will will help me with that. And she looks particularly at Sublime, who's been rather quiet. I think he's been studying the amulet that he picked up off the vampire. And he kind of gives her a nod, and he will. What do you guys want to? She looks at the three of you and is like, "So what's your plan, though? You must be tired after a long night and spending some time in the water."
Well, Titan's beat up. Should take care of him, and Mako insists we go talk to Ginger Snap, so I guess we might have to do that.
Which of you took Ginger Snap as a contact? That may actually be Sublime, huh? If none of you guys did.
I thought you had Mama.
Oh, he has Mama, yeah. Did somebody take Ginger Snap? Or do you guys just know who Ginger Snap is? I think, never mind, you guys know who Ginger Snap is. Okay, well, you guys would know that Ginger Snap typically makes her home on the Black Diamond, which is on the northeast corner of Treasure Island. So she's not going to be here in Havana. So if you want to go visit her, you're going to need to find a boat, basically, or ride out to the Black Diamond. But Thunder will tell you, that's... I have never met her, I've only heard stories, but I wish you luck with that. She'll kind of smile and start to make her way down the pier. You guys can follow. I know Mama's probably not going to be happy that this stuff went missing, right? Perhaps maybe tonight you go over to the cemetery. You might want to speak with her. We're going to tell her everything that happened last night. But it might be best if you make an appearance for her as well.
We'll make sure to swing by. That sounds terrible, but we'll do it.
Sublime will give you a nod, and he'll tell you after dropping off Attila, he'll meet you there. So, let me describe to you what old Havana looks like. It's a colorful area. It is old and historical. You guys have I think all of you have been around Cuba for a long time, so you would recognize most of the area. There is some amount of government buildings and things like that still here, and otherwise there's a good number of tourists and party buses that kind of come through the area, though most of that tends to favor more the beaches side. Let me find a map of Havana. You guys, so you know what you're looking at. I used to have a really cool map. So yeah, we can, if you want to rest up, you could find a place to do that. If you want to find a boat to head out to Treasure Island, you can absolutely do that. There is a map of Old Havana. Put that somewhere handy. I should probably make that a handout at some point. So you're on this this side over here, kind of in this near Old Havana.
Now, do you think it's better that we fix the boat than bring it to her, or that we go to her, then fix the boat? I feel like we should probably fix it and take it to her.
Do I have any concept of what it would take to actually get this boat fixed again? I mean, would it take like a dry dock, or could it be like field repairs, or?
You don't think it'll take a dry dock, at least to get it mobile again for the most part. You could probably do it with just some supplies and, a few days labor. But you will know after having searched the ship last night that you're probably going to need, even some just more food, water, that kind of stuff. A lot of everything. The necessities have all been sort of trashed out there. So if you packed the lunch, if you will, and just headed out there with some elbow grease, you guys could get it fixed up in probably about 3 days' time.
All right. Well, we pretty much ran through all the supplies on the boat. So, capsize. If we want to get that thing back, we're gonna have to round up supplies and get them out there. Not just parts, but food and water for the trip. So, we'll have to find a boat of our own just to get back.
You think you can find those parts? I'll take Titan here to a doctor or something, then swing by and grab some food. Then
Yeah.
go meet Mama. Then try and grab ourselves a boat to get back.
I
Feel like
think
that's
that's
a
a start.
solid plan.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see. You asked Titan where the bone gnars are. They are in. Oh, I need to practice my Spanish. The Gachinango Barrens? No, Guchinango Barrens. There are estimated to be over 100,000 sinless in that area. It is.
Can I get you to spell it?
Yeah, I'm about to copy and paste it. And somebody tell me how to pronounce that. 'Cause I am gutting it. Gachinango? Gachinengo.
Guachinango, Aaron.
Perfect. Fantastic. I'll take it.
Spanish is relatively close to French, so.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not usually too bad, but that one's kicking my butt. So it stretches across it's kind of these jungle-covered ruins that are down by the river, which I believe on your map would be more on this side, if I do recall. Actually, it may be south of East Havana, which would really be over here. So you don't even have it on this little, this tiny tourist map that I stole from somewhere.
My hidden home.
Mhm. Yeah,
Or
so
am I
you.
bringing you home?
So you would know that down there is essentially, it is a barrens. It has power and access to the grid is kind of very limited, and it's unstable at best. So it's more of kind of squatter huts that are primarily made out of wood, and they kind of fill along the banks of the river. Some of the homeless have decided just to shun city life completely, and they've built like scattered villages of wooden huts and are just growing their own food. Uh, and the Bone Gnars in particular are the sort of gang that will kind of raid the city. And they all are kind of from this area for the most part. It's about 300 plus squatters. And they're known to like kind of operate in small bands and roam like the back streets of downtown, and they will dumpster dive or they'll just steal food. It's quite popular tactic of them to do sort of a B&E, like, and smash and grab, just grab everything they can, or sometimes like 50 of them or more will hit open air restaurants or outdoor parties and just like snag all the food and drink they can and run off with it. So they organize these sort of raids and then head back down to their huts. There are some rumors you would know essentially about like ritual magic that's been used to kind of create the jungle or like overgrowth that helps kind of keep the Cuban police out of there a little bit, because it just becomes so thick that if you don't know how to navigate it, it becomes really difficult to get through.
Would Titan know how to navigate it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
Is that where you want to go?
No, I wanted to know more about them because I forgot to write down their location, and
Alright.
it's always good to have more info.
Fair enough.
Cool. I'm gonna search up a street dock I can take Titan to. Or just
Alright.
somewhere I could get him healed because he's in bad shape.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Let me look here, because we've forgotten how to play Anarchy. Is there something useful to get you to do for that? Let's see.
I could do hacking. I think that incorporates like matrix searching or something.
Well, I think it'd be electronics. Either that, or you could do a negotiation to try to like kind of get a feel for things. Essentially,
Yeah, sure, I can roll that.
ask around.
3 hits.
Oh. So, who do you know here? Who was your contact you took?
Mine is Capo, Juan.
Okay. So you try to sort of get an idea of like a street dock or just say a low, and you start kind of asking around. Perhaps not necessarily Juan. You don't necessarily want to call him. It's a bit he's a bit high on the horse for something so simple. But maybe you
Yeah.
start hitting around some of his lower lieutenants in the Batista family that he might know, and sure enough, he will. There are some of the people that are known to him, because he is a particular matrix artist. So he's very good at that. He will send you to a kind of riffraffy area down in South Old Havana of a street dock. Mako, were you going to this, or you particularly are going to get supplies? And he may have AFK'd on me. I think Mako's not going with you, right?
I think we decided that he would go get supplies and I would take Titan to the
Yeah.
street dock. And then while Titan was getting fixed up, I'd go grab some other things.
Yeah, I think,
I'm back, and that sounds about right.
I'd say I think that's just an excuse so we can go AFK, but no, that works. Alright, see, he sends you to a street dock named Guten. Oh. Guten. That's how this guy pronounced it. He's a dwarf. And you guys wander down there. And he will, he's this chubby little dwarf. He's got this big bushy beard, very dark tanned skin. And as you come in the front door, he's got this little, there's an orc and a human sitting there in different sides of this tiny, very waiting room. Even when you open up the door, you hit, the one of the not even chairs, like a bench, for what makes it for a waiting room. And and there's not even anything that separates you from quote unquote the shop. You look across the probably just a handful of meters distance of this room, and you see the guy, this little dwarf. He is in there cutting or it looks like he's just stitching up someone's arm with a literal needle and thread. And the human in there is kind of grimacing and making faces every so often, and he's just telling him, "Shut up, you big baby," and he takes a big swig of some type of liquor in a bottle and sits it down and just keeps sewing this guy up. And as Guten sees the two of you enter, to remember, since it's been a while since we played, I believe Capsize is a gnome, right? So you're super tiny.
I'm a gnome. Yeah, I'm
Forgot
child
about that.
size.
So you're super short. Meanwhile, I believe Titan is at least a troll, right?
10 feet tall.
Yeah, you're
gigantic.
10 feet tall. So this building was not made for someone of your size. So as you come in Titan, you're kind of having to do that thing where your head is leaned to the side and down because you're hunched a little bit. And Guten, this fuzzy bearded dwarf, looks at you. Like, "What do you want? Who sent you?"
I'll just say one of Capo's men. I need my friend here, and I'll put my arm around Titan's leg basically.
Kneecap?
Yeah, I'll pat it like it's his back, but it's just clearly his leg. And I'll
Alright.
just be like, my friend here needs some medical attention, and I got a good word for you, or someone gave me a good word that you're the man that give me some help.
Well, I'll see what I can do. Hold on. And he's looks at the human that he was shaping up, and he just pulls the thread really tight. You see the guy grimace, and then he cuts it off with a pair of scissors. He just hands him a literal band-aid, adhesive. It was "Get out of here, I'm done with you." And he comes sort of waddling over. He's got a bit of a limp in his left leg. Yes, oh, big fella, I don't know that I have room for you. You best come back here and lay down. Yeah, the kind of chair that he was sitting in almost looked like if anyone has seen a tattooist chair. It's one that you can adjust a little bit and it lays out. And as he lays it out flat, so Titan can lay on it. It visibly like groans and sort of sags, and you hear these kind of freaking sounds. And Guten kind of looks at it, he looks at Titan, he looks back at it, and then you see him like shuffle off, and he starts getting these crates and starts putting them under to sort of fortify it to make sure that it won't break.
Careful now, he's a big boy.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. What did you guys get into? What did you guys get into?
Sharks.
Look, I'm like, this one's a shark, that one's a shark. I think that's a bullet hole. That might be a claw mark. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of trouble.
Oh, you've got money, right? I'm not cheap. Well, I am cheap. He laughs and takes another big swig of something from a brown bottle.
Shit, do we have money?
Does Anarchy even have money?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll consider money an abstract term, so.
Yeah, I was gonna just say yes, even like, don't worry, you'll get paid. We gotta keep this guy in good shape.
You
This
gotta-
is like the bargain basement street talk, so I'm sure
Yeah.
we can find something to bargain with.
When you say that, he looks at you with like kind of an eye and like kind of a squint, and it's almost like one eye starts twitching. Like he doesn't know how to squint, but he's trying, or to how to wink, but he's trying to kind of squint at you as like a wink, and he's just like, all right. If Cavo sent you, if Juan wants sent you, I mean, I would not want to anger the Batistas. All right, well, sit up here, big man, and he starts pulling out a variety of bandages, and he's still taking a swig every so often, and starts to patch you up, and tries to start giving you some stitches. What do you think? Do you think Titan can take a few stitches, or is he not like needles? How does he feel about needles?
I mean, he breaks things down with his bare hands. I don't think any small, sharp objects are gonna bug him.
So you see the dwarf like pulls out kind of a small needle like he was using on the human, and then he puts that to the side, and he pulls out this really big like thick one that you would probably use like to almost thread leather. As he looks at like Titan's like big thick hide of being a troll and comes back over, and he sets that on the table, and he thinks better of it. He goes back to a toolbox and opens it up and gets out a small hammer. Sets that down next to it, just in case. And he will go about and start fixing you up. Says, yeah, I think you might need to stay here overnight, though. There's a lot of wounds here.
As long as I'm healed, I don't care.
All right, and he spits it out, and he just takes out like a bottle of iodine and starts dabbing at the wounds, and then threads up the needle and just starts cutting through it. How does Capsize feel about needles?
It was fine until he got the hammer out, and then he's kind of like, okay, I can't watch him just chisel away. Like,
Yeah, every so often to get through like the natural armor of a troll, you see him just like tapping the hammer to try to get it through like a particularly thick spot.
just be like, you call me if you need me, Titan. I'm gonna be over there. I'm gonna go.
Before you go, do you think you could help find somebody to fix my armor? I'm kind of stuck here for the moment.
Can't Mako do that? I don't know. I'll go find him. We'll figure things out.
Okay.
All right, so Capsize gonna leave Titan to his fixin' and go find Mako.
Yeah.
Mako. So while they went off and do this, where are you headed?
Mako is probably headed down to the marina. He's probably gonna look for some mechanic friend, someone who can find him some spare parts to get the ship in working condition, and little supplies for a few days worth of work out there.
Yeah, so we're because it's been a while since we played, almost a month. Where is Mako from again? Do you remember?
Originally from Florida, spent some time in the gas prison system, and then I think at that point met up with a pirate who was also there before he made his way down to Havana. So he's not a native to the area, but I'm sure he's been here for at least a few years.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's look here. Where are we headed on my map of Cuba? All right. So you head down to. Are you looking for kind of like legit stuff, or are you wanting to go a little seedier, like under the table?
Oh no, seedier, definitely
Seed. All right,
seedier. Yeah,
seedier. All
this
right.
is probably gonna be off the books.
All right. So you head down to Muriel Bay, which is primarily owned by the Sea Triads, and you start. You find a human. He's male. He's about middle-aged. And you know, as you're asking around, this is who you get pointed to, and he operates the Oberyn facilities. They recommended this chief engineer, which in particular is they primarily work on like automated cargo exchange systems and big stuff related to that. And he has a handful of deckers and drones, and there's a lot of like robotic arms. And it looks like at first, like, this is not quite what I was looking for. I was looking for someplace with, like, somebody with more, like, small-time ships or something like that. But as you meet the gentleman, you suddenly very clearly that, while all this appears to be legit, this is probably the guy that you can find stuff under the table from. He's sitting there smoking whenever you come in, and he smiles at you and is like, what are you looking for? How can I help?
Well, I've got a ship that has a couple holes in it. I'm trying to get patched up, so it's looking for someone who can get me a few parts that I need and maybe supplies for a few days to take care of the job. I was told by some locals that you'd be the man to talk to.
I don't know. I often know what comes through here. That's for sure. What kind of money you got? It's not cheap to give you an entire ship fixed. You have credit on
It's
you?
not an entire ship. It's just a couple patches I need to do. And do I have credit on me? I mean,
You have
I'm not really sure.
you have a moderate sum of cred. These tell you it's gonna be expensive. You want parts that just disappear out of somewhere.
This is Mako. He knows how to make scrap work, so you know, I don't really care where the parts come from. If you get me the right stuff, I can make it work. It doesn't have to be the top shelf.
roll me your engineering.
Let's see.
It's your top skill there in logic.
Yeah.
Alright, fantastic. Okay, let's see. Like, alright. Give me a list of what you need, and I'll see it gets done. Who's this going to? And you see he starts making some little notes in AR. What's the name of the ship?
The Good Fortune.
Is it here in dock? Where do you need the deposits delivered to?
I will have it delivered to a third party, another ship that I'll hire to go take me down to my ship.
And you see his eyes kind of quirk up at that. It's like, your ship's not in port then.
It's a little ways down the coast. It'll be easier for me to get it back home if I take another ship there.
Who do you work for? Is it perhaps an account I should credit this to?
Let's put it under Mako for now.
Alright, Mako. I'll start looking into the reports and I'll get you an invoice. Come back in tomorrow and I'll tell you how much this will be.
Alright. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Alright. So you have just talked to one of the Triad's dock workers, Mr. Woon.
Woon?
Woon. Woon. He is is at the Mirel Bay. It's a triad-owned area. All right. I believe at some point though you're gonna find capsizes come looking for you.
He'll wave him down. Go ahead.
Yeah, he waves me down. I'll walk forward and be like, "You have any luck chasing anything down?"
Oh yeah, met a charming gentleman. Works down at the Morel Bay. I think we can get our supplies by tomorrow.
Well, Titan's gonna be under the needle till tomorrow too, so works out.
Mako cringes just a little bit at the mention of needles, but all right. Well, I think was it Thunder who recommended we go talk to Mama Pavre. I guess if we're stuck around here for a day, it'd be good to go ahead and pay her a visit. Make sure we can get this cleared up without getting a black mark.
Suppose so. You're right.
Do you want to
I'll leave.
do you want to talk to Mama tonight, or are you guys wanting to talk to Mama tomorrow after you get all healed up and whatnot?
Wasn't Sledge and Thunder gonna go talk to Mama Pavre?
Yeah, they were heading to her pretty much immediately.
Oh, okay. I thought they were going later. I was gonna suggest we go with them, but then yeah, I say we go tonight then.
Get tracked down a boat. Time. Take us back out.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if they might have any plans, if they can run us back out there.
Might be worth the ask. Still alive after meeting Pavre.
Mm-hmm.
Guess that's the first trick then, isn't it?
Hopefully, Titan might be feeling a bit better. Be nice to stand behind him.
Yeah, he can sure soak up the bullets when it's going his way.
But keep him around, I think. So, I guess we wait till tonight in the cemetery.
Yeah, you guys know you don't have really any arrangements as far as sleeping or anything like that too later tonight as well.
Like a shitty motel somewhere in Old Havana, we could probably just...
Okay. You also know somebody, Mako, who is known to have cheap sleeping arrangements.
The only person who knows Buffalo Bill, so I'm assuming you're referring to him.
Yeah. So he often drives.
Like a bus.
Yeah, he does. He often drives around. He has a variety of decrepit Camelback buses, and some of them actually have sleeping compartments into them, like sleeping cubes.
Are the buses stationary at this point, or are they still driving around town while we're sleeping in the back?
They're always driving around town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a party.
Perfect.
There's a dance floor that comes with them, as well as sleeping cubes on them.
Well, if we're looking for a place to stay, Capsize, I know a guy. I'm not sure we'll get much sleep, but I can give us some place to bed down for a little while.
Well,
And
better than nothing.
Yeah, I don't really trust him, but a little Nuyen, and he'll keep his mouth shut if he needs to.
Usually how it works. When McCall, find him.
You know,
Where
he can usually be found on the eastern beaches. It's usually if you hang around long enough, one of his buses will come driving by at some point.
All right, we'll start heading that way then.
Okay. Alright, so you and Capsize venture off that way. So for Titan, How badly wounded were you would say?
15 armor and 8 out of 12 physical.
Okay. Well, the doc will get you all patched up, and he'll tell you. Guten will tell you, call your buddy Zeke. I don't have room for you to sleep here. You take up most of my space. Like you're as good as I can get you. And he kind of spits on the floor and offers you a drink out of the brown bottle he's been swigging on.
I'm not bright. I'll take a sip.
You tell me what's in there.
It is rum. It is old rum. Like, somebody opened it, forgot it. It sat there on the bar for like 4 days with dust and dirt and shit floating in it. And then it got resold for a cheaper price. And that is what he's drinking. He is just lucky this one does not have a normal cigarette butt or two floating on the top of it like they normally come.
Alright. Well, that is what's in the bottle. So yeah, he finishes stitching you up, and you're covered in a few bandages, and he pushes you out there, just points you to the door. You can pay him a small amount out of the money you currently have in pocket.
I have nothing. I'm not trusted with my own money.
Alright, well then as you realize you have no money, he looks at you with a frown. He's like, you call back your friend here. You get him to pay me. And he kind of snaps his finger.
Do you have a phone I can use?
He starts like opens up a drawer and starts shuffling around and finds you a Metalink and throws it at you.
And out of my pocket, I will pull out a piece of paper that is probably smudged by now. Hopefully I can still read it. And very carefully, with my giant fingers, try and dial Capsize's number.
It takes you a few
Dial
minutes.
my brain.
Takes you a few. Oh, that's right. You're a technomancer, right?
I am.
Okay, man. I was gonna look at your sheet and like, do you have a comm link? Never mind. You're a technomancer.
I am a comlink.
All right. So, however that works in the sixth world, your brain starts to ring, and you find it's an unknown link number.
I'm like walking with Mick. I'm like, hold on, I'm getting a call, and I'll just stop there and be like, yeah. Like, answer it.
Capsize. He says I can't stay here.
Come find us. We're gonna go to some beach and jump on I look to Mako like party bus.
Mm-hmm.
Party bus.
Can I get a little bit more info than that? I'm not bright. I need names or descriptions of land. I need something more than we're jumping on a party bus.
We're gonna be waiting on the east beaches. You know where those like. It's next to this and that. You know, once you get that rock
Place
formation
where the
next
sun
to.
rises, yeah.
You go towards the lighthouse. You're too far, and if you're next to that hotel, you're not far enough. Big stretch of sand. And I'm sure there's probably some palm trees or something. We'll be waiting around there, okay?
All right.
Did Titan grow up as a member of the Bone Gnawers? He was, right?
Yes, he did. He was orphaned as a child and grew up with the Bone Gnawers, helping them with their B&E because he was strong enough to break door locks with his bare hands. He often helped just by opening doors and carrying heavy things. How much did the doc fix me up for? All of it?
Yeah. We're gonna say for our purposes, he fixed you up for all of it. Because this is anarchy, and that's how we do. And so I was gonna ask what I was gonna say, not ask, is so being that you are from Havana and you grew up with the Bone Gnawers, you would immediately know where the eastern beaches are. They're about this 25-kilometer stretch. They are linked together by Viva Blanca Freeway, and they tend to be owned by the different corporations who obviously put resorts and beach properties and things like that on them. They're a little risky because one rule of Cuba is do not mess with the tourists. That is the thing that will get the hammer dropped on you more than anything. A lot of petty crime goes on as long as you obey that one rule. So, but even that being said, if you're clever and you're sneaky and you're careful, there's fantastic places to hit over there. Most of the bone gnawers in that area would have stuck more with like dumpster diving versus trying to do outright crimes because they don't want the corpse and or the policia to come down on them. But even then, like the dumpsters in the area, whew, you can find some good stuff in there. Rich people throw away all types of useful things.
Alright. Then I will start walking in the direction, and while I am walking, I will be going down alleyways and whatnot and trying to find like hubcaps or signs or like scrap metal that I can use and give to Mako to try and repair my armor and its makeshiftiness.
Okay, you just start picking up random scraps that you think might be useful and you're hauling them while walking through Oak Cabana. It's going to be a very long walk. If you look like you guys are down kind of over in this general direction and you got to go kind of up here. So it will be quite a walk, but you can do it. Let me look something up really quick. We'll montage that walk. Did you guys want to wait for me? You guys just all going to meet there when you get to the Eastern Beaches?
I feel like we meet there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or arrive there at the same time. I don't know how far he has to go.
Yeah, he's a little bit lower than you are, so he'll probably get there more like an hour later. So as you walk over to the Eastern Beaches, a few of the beaches have unique engineered features. Like particularly the first one you kind of find and come to is Boca Ciega. And you notice that the sands are all colored, like today they're covered this lovely azure sort of blue color, very light blue. And you see as people walk across it, the women in their bikinis and the men in their banana hammocks, because that's what you do in the Caribbean while you're on vacation. You hear these musical tones that start playing all around you out in the marina. You see like their yachts offshore, they're all parked out there. And you kind of start moving from Old Havana, where you see more and more kind of day trips and big shops where people would take to go shopping, and there are also large hotels. The two of you, and all three of you when you get out there, will stand out like a sore thumb a little bit, as you have just been on the ocean for many days. You have been in the water. You're wearing the same clothes as you did when you went out there, and suddenly you're in this very kind of swanky tourist part of town full of money. There is so you can also go down to like Alamar and Chinatown, which is a really bit more the kind of the beaches where more everyday people would be. I wouldn't want to say that so there are some Cubanos who would be down there, but for the most part it's still going to be a lot of people who cater to the tourist trade. There's some people who are selling like sugarcane or pineapples or tobacco, as well as just trinkets and souvenirs all along that route. Let me pull up something real quick. Let's get some happy music going on. Here, have some Latin jazz. At least that's what this says.
Definitely.
So this music starts to play as like you drive past one of the things, and you see this massive, what looks like it used to be a semi trailer, and now there's this pink back all along the side. It says Buffalo Bills Party Rides, and you see. You want to give him a call, Mako, or did you just want to wait until he drives by?
I figured I'd give him a call.
Alright. You give him a call. And she will tell you, my friend, I will be there immediately. And so this big camel bus pulls up. And this gentleman stops it. He pops out. He is dressed in like a bright yellow shirt. He's got beads going down his or around his neck. He's got looks like a tie on one shoulder that he had previously had on. It is pink and paisley colored. He's got this blue hat. He's a big troll. He's got massive tusks. And he smiles. Ah, my friend! Like, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. You're looking festive today.
Ah, I always am. It's a party, right? We're in Cuba, and you see people like drunk on the bus, and they're yelling out the windows and dancing inside. And there's like kind of these strobe lights going on, all in more the front of the bus. The back of the bus is a little bit quieter, and that's where you'd think there was like sleeper cubes, whatever those were. Might be it. Like, so tell me, what are you doing in Cuba? I haven't seen you in Havana in several days.
We're just staying the night. We needed a place to crash while we wait for a meeting tomorrow. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind have a little space in the back. We might hunker down for the night.
Ah, and he looks at you and he leans up close. Woof, my friend, you could use a shower to say the least.
I could. Spent some time on the ocean recently, so.
Oh, no problem. Come on, jump on in. We'll go. Is this just the two of you?
No, we got a third, a big bastard. We can't miss him. We should go see if we can head down and find him here in a minute. He's coming this way.
Where is he coming from?
Where is he coming from?
That's from
Old Havana.
All right, I'll tell Buffalo Bill that.
Ah, right, yeah. Well, good. Our tour is next headed north to Cathedral of Cristobal de la Habana. So we go down there next, and then we go past the the Hotel Nacional. So we'll find him along the way. Come, get on board.
Perfect. It'll be easy to spot.
As you start to, he climbs on board. He goes like, first he goes to the side of the semi. He opens up a flap and he pulls out from like a cooler that essentially full of ice has been put in there. He pulls out several beers and he starts handing them to you guys. He's like, have a drink on me. It's like, on board. And then he goes and climbs back in the cab of the semi truck. You guys can get on board. There inside is a variety of drunken tourists from everywhere you could possibly imagine. There is a mix of human and orc. There is 2 dwarves in the back. And everyone seems to be, despite the fact that it's only around noon or so, everyone is good and drunk already. And you really might wonder how many people haven't just been drinking since last night and they have yet to go to sleep. Starting about the middle of the bus and back, it's all kind of bench seating, and underneath the benches is where there's just like this little like out area where you could lay down. There's like this little pillow on one end, and then in the back, they continue on to the back. There's probably about a dozen of these. In the back, then going horizontal with the back of the bus, you see another like set of these things stacked up. So there's 3 in the back, and then a bunch of them just run along like the bench seats almost all the way into the middle half of the bus. So you really can sleep under
Mako's gonna
the
elbow
party.
capsize and be like, I didn't think this through. Where the hell is Titan gonna sleep?
Go his time to the roof. More of his problem.
Fair enough.
Is the aisle big enough?
The aisle would be big enough. He'd probably have to put his like arms on his chest, but he could probably just about get his shoulders across ways in the aisle. You can see like the middle of this bus is really nice and spacious with just the bare minimum of seating on either side so that you can dance. And that's what a lot of people are currently doing, is using it as a dance floor, right?
We can put him way up back against the wall, and if people want to dance on him, they're welcome to. I doubt he'd feel it.
Somebody trips and breaks their neck, then Buffalo Bill's gonna toss us off the bus. We'll figure something out. Let's get him out. Let's find him first and burn that bridge when we get to it.
All right. Mako, Titan, as you're making your way up top, at some point you finally see this big pink camel bus come driving past you, and it starts to slow to the story, and then it comes to a stop, and traffic behind it starts like honking really loud, and Buffalo Bill just just taps the side of the van. He's like, "Hey, you look You looking for two guys? One of them really small. The other one, he's got a mohawk. You...
Yeah, those sound familiar.
Ah, get on, grab on.
So, I'm going to get on the bus, but I would like you to know that I found a milk crate, and I have metal odds and ends and leather pieces and straps just full.
Alright.
It's his pillow.
Yeah, you take your milk crate of gathered roughings and treasures and you get on the bus. The bus itself is actually, because it's like a converted semi-truck, right? It's nice and wide, so you don't have a problem walking through the aisles, other than the people that are around, who, as you kind of move around, like several of them kind of gasp in awe, and they obviously kind of stand to the side or try to give you room. One girl even just stands up on the bench seats and she continues dancing, and she just goes like, woo, as you walk past her. And you find Capsize and Mako probably somewhere near the back having a beer.
Mako will toss Titan a beer as soon as he gets close. Well, I guess not toss, since he has his hand filled. He'll hold it out
You
to the crate.
don't retcon it. You toss him a beer and it just lands in his crate.
Why don't you set that down and have a drink?
Do you think you could fix my armor with this?
Mako will stand up and take the crate from him and start sorting through the odds and ends. I imagine he ends up having like 2 piles beside him. One of stuff he can use, the other stuff is just trash that he can't.
Well, Titan does have engineering, so I'm hoping it's a bigger pile that he can't use.
Oh, that's fair, alright.
That's fair. I was just pulling open your sheet here. Alright. Yeah, you find all types of just random things. And I mean, so it's stuff that, like, you know, you wouldn't be able to use to fix normal armor. But where this has kind of been engineered by Titan himself, right, out of whatever he could scavenge, it makes sense and it all fits right in, right? So go ahead and roll me your engineering if you'd like.
And I want to give him a glitch die.
Alright, you hand him a glitch die.
That's
I'm gonna-
1d6.
Yeah, I'd roll 1d6. Let me double check something. I forget when you get the plot points back. You definitely get you definitely get all your edge back between games. So God.
Yes.
I screwed myself.
Yeah, a little bit.
Shit.
Okay. Do you want to describe the glitch there, Mako, since you were the one engineering this?
I feel like he's trying to start putting pieces back on the armor, and somewhere there's like a key leather strap that's holding about half of the armor together, and he goes like, I don't need this, and just clips it, and like half the armor just kind of disintegrates in front of him, just falling into bits and odds and ends of junk, where before it was one cohesive piece held together by a key element, and then it's all just kind of falling apart after that. I feel like there's a clatter of metallic sounds as a whole bunch of odds and ends just end up at the feet of Titan.
You were doing that. Capsize is taking a big drink, and as like the first clang hits, he like spits out a little bit, starts laughing really hard.
It's
As
fine, it's fine, I can fix that.
Titan just sits there with his mouth agape like, what did you do?
Yeah, your armor is now currently in a pile pretty much at your feet.
That was bound to
Poor
happen
Titan.
eventually anyways, it totally wasn't my fault.
It's...
That's why I'll rebuild it. Next time we'll use a double strap design. We'll do 2 of them, crossways, to support each other.
There is now... You now have a large troll crying at you. I believe literal tears.
He is sucking that beer down like it is a bottle, and he's crying on this party bus.
I pat his knee again, like, there.
It's the tallest part of him you can reach.
Yeah.
Look, Titan, I'll make it up to you, man. We'll find you some armor.
I have tears and snot coming down my face, so I was like, okay, I just nuts.
We can buy you some actual armor. Would you like that? Like mine and Mako's?
No.
You always have to be difficult, Titan. All right, we'll get you fixed up. your bed is right there, and I just point like in the aisle, like yeah, you're gonna sweep. Your bed's there.
So yeah, in the you guys are sitting a little bit toward the back. Like I said, there's these three of the cubes are straight up along what would have been like the very back of the bus. So currently there is nobody sleeping in those 3 cubes or in the 2 cubes next to it. So you could Titan sleep in the middle. It is only about like probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys gonna try to take a quick nap now, or do you want to? Is there anything else you want to do? Well, with your daylight hours.
I think we need to sleep because we're supposed to meet her at night. So I think resting up now would be.
Do we have to go to the cemetery at night? I feel like that's a bad idea.
That's when we were told to meet her, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, in the evening.
Yeah, so. Just doing. I know it feels bad, but we're just doing what we're told, I guess.
Alright, I guess so.
Alright. You go to the, you guys lay down, take a nap. Mako, are you gonna fix, did everyone else have armor damage, I assume?
I
I know it's been a while since we played, right?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I'd have to check.
Okay.
think mine got fixed by thunder.
I gotcha.
I think I took pretty much everything that encounter except for like 2 or 3 shots.
That's fair.
I'm not sure I got hit.
I know Sledge took a lot of damage too. I think you and Sledge tanked it out. Alright.
Yeah.
I got feared.
Okay, go ahead and so when you wake back up, Titan, are you gonna start trying to put together your armor again?
I will try and put together my armor as best as I can,
Alright.
knowing that if I don't, I'll probably die.
I don't know. Mako feels pretty bad about destroying your armor, so I feel like he's working on something. Maybe not with you, but he is working to replace it.
Alright. So go ahead, roll me your engineering, Titan, and I will add a glitch die to it.
So I just have knowledge engineering, but
Oh.
there's, so I don't know.
Oh,
is
roll-
that just?
Never.
Roll your logic.
I was gonna say
Roll
roll
logic.
your logic. Roll your logic and roll a glitch dice, and we'll see how it goes.
Oh, fantastic.
Listen.
Alright. It's alright. It's alright.
You can get an exploit with no hits.
Ah! There's a 6. So you're not quite sure how this works. You start just putting pieces back together, and you even manage to find half a thing of like a very strong adhesive glue in all your searching, and by the end of it, you have reassembled it better than before. You're certain. No straps this time that Mako can just cut apart. It is now just one piece of like glue and strong adhesive duct tape, like Gorilla Tape, stuck together. Fantastic.
Not to derail or anything, but like in 40K, where the stuff works because the orcs believe it works, I feel like you're doing that here. There's no reason that should provide you any protection, but you think it does, right? You're sure this armor protects you, and so you're fine.
Titan's mind is the strongest thing about him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks solid. You see, you kind of slip your arm into it, and then you realize that like it almost looks like a metal like suit of armor, as if somehow you have mastered plate mail nearabouts using old license plates and street signs.
You stop on one shoulder and go on the other.
Right?
That literally was going to be my original plan, but I figured somebody would get mad at me for taking street signs off the street corners.
I was gonna say, except that you're in Cuba, so it doesn't say stop. It's
yeah.
all in Spanish.
I mean, I'm from around here. I can read it. It says stuff.
It's alto, right? I think that's what stop is in Spanish. But anyway, it's a halt. I think that's right. It's been a while since I've been down there. Okay. So you guys wake back up. The party is still going. You guys had a rough time sleeping, but you're used to a ruckus on a ship every so often. So this ain't the worst thing you've done before. You can have a delightful dinner of beer. Although most of your clothes are still pretty rough, and unfortunately, as accommodating as the camel bus is, there is no place to launder your clothing.
That's true. I think we should maybe pick some up before we go to the cemetery. It might pay off to look nice. Than we usually are.
Yeah, I mean, several of you, I think, were even attacked by sharks, right? So you got like shark-sized teeth marked holes in your gear.
There's only a little bit of blood on it.
A little bit of blood.
What am I gonna do? Shine my rusty stop sign?
Oh, no. Don't worry, buddy. Your gear, for the most part, looks nice and new as rusted old license plates and street signs can. But even then, your pants and whatnot is full of bullet holes and or shark bite shredded clothes. Oh, so you want a montage to go do some shopping?
We'll go to like a thrift store or something and just like pick up some decent clothes. Something that at least doesn't look like.
I mean, we are the tourist section. We could get like, like
Hawaiian
flowered
shirts.
and like swim
Perfect.
trunks and flip flops.
So let's
Try to blend in a little bit more.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. So we will totally Google Cuban styles and start looking through the clothing. I want you to describe to me what you find. But one of you, Mako, goes up to like the front window of the camel bus and yells like to Buffalo Bill in the cab. He starts yelling back at him. It's like, "No worry, hombre, like we're on the way, amigo." And he claps his side of the.
Bill, where do you get your shirts at, buddy? Where can I get a bright yellow shirt like that?
Oh, you want to dress like me, like this?
I think so. I mean, I can't dress quite like you, but I can aspire to it, right?
Ah, of course. I'll take you to the best tailor in town, the best stores, cheapest deals, good stuff. And he
Cheapest
will.
deals, I like it.
He will tap the side of the bus and start to drive off into actually and you get to this point that while this is normally a tour bus during a tour, it seems like when they're at this level of drunk, Buffalo Bill is just sort of kidnapped and continues driving people around. As no one is really paying attention to the landscapes at all. Though every so often over like a loudspeaker you hear him kind of point out something like that. Oh, there, it's a Hotel Nacional we're driving past. And everyone will woo in the van, but no one really, and will probably lean out and yell at people as they drive by. But otherwise, this is just a party bus. Every so often, people wander out to get more beer or some type of liquor. And as you've stayed on it a couple times, you realize he just picks them back up, right? You're just kind of doing these big circles every so often. And he is very open to suggestions. So when you say you want to go find clothes, he's like, yeah, no problem, amigo. And he starts driving you to his personal tailor, who so he takes you over to this is Zapatos Walk, which is, I believe, means shoes in Spanish. It is primarily for tourists. It's a shopping district. It has beautiful neoclassical buildings that have been restored to the original appearance. They're all very colorful in different pale colors. Where's a good picture of like this? Because I love the Caribbean styles. Oh geez, do I not have it? All right, never mind. So love these lovely pastel buildings on the sides, and they're all these very nice shops that have been restored. There is several buildings, once stood shoulder to shoulder, are now combined into a big museum that is the Cuban shoe industry. Visitors there could observe fully operational manufacturing equipment from the 19th century and early 20th centuries, cutting cutting leather, stamping old souls. I need to find a voice for Buffalo Bill and totally give this to you as if he's your tour guide, right? Like, they symbol shoes there. It's quite beautiful. You should go. Every one of them is made by hand. They're all done by artisan cobblers. Stop in. And he stops there, and you see a bunch of like drunk, probably 19-year-old corp kids like get out, very excited, and they look like they're gonna go shopping for shoes. Continues driving and like, there's 8 more stores along here. They all sell shoes, all different styles. Next stop, we're going to the Imagello store. It's connected to the museum here. There you can get your own handcrafted shoes. And he just keeps going on and on about shoes. After a while, he stops someone. He's like, there's a perfect one. My good friend there, Hector Inagello. He's a 3rd generation exile. He's fully restored his grandfather's business. He's one of the greatest designers. Oh, I love him. He's unfunded by Zoe, I hear. You could stop here. And he stops and other people get out to like go do shopping. And at this point, you're kind of wondering that as drunk as they are and how he's kind of just been driving them around like kidnapped, if they aren't very open to suggestion and just getting out because they've been told to get out versus how many really want to go shoe shopping. But after he's been describing all these different places, he drives up to some smaller shops that are specializing more, particularly at the end of the Zapatos Walk, and they're specializing more in clothes and accessories. There's also a number of cafes and restaurants kind of in this area. And he stops in front of one of them that is called Sedanitas. And he yells back over to Mako. He's like, yeah, go see my good friend Rita Valdez. You tell her Buffalo Bill sent you. She will get you fixed up with some better outfits. Yes?
Rita, all right. I'll let her know. I'll go talk to her. Thank you, Buffalo. You're the best.
Yeah, you're most welcome. We'll be back around here in about 2 hours if you want to get back on. And he taps the side of the bus and hails and like he gives you a nod and drives off.
Hell of a ride, huh?
That is one of the most interesting things I've ever been on.
That's tame. We'll wait till you get on there in the middle of the night.
We're not taking him back, right? We'll walk, right?
I mean, it's a pretty good ride and he gives free beer.
Well,
Alright.
that is true. He sure drives a hard bargain.
I don't know. He's not quite as flexible when there are a lot more tourists around, though. So, depending on how this goes, maybe we do clear off at night.
Well, let's pick something up to look, I guess, semi-nice.
Okay. You see a variety of stores here. In particular, 3 kind of stand out in this kind of area of the boardwalk. You see Sedanita, which is the one Buffalo Bill told you about. There's also Shapiro and Eppenstein, which are 3 stores. They both have, you see in their kind of window and AR displays, they market locally manufactured shoes, which, no surprise, that's what this walk's all about. But they also tend to cater to more of kind of middle class and less exotic materials, and they seem to have a more reasonable price than some of the things that you saw coming up here. Also, there is... what's else in this area? You find... these tend to look like smaller and more like family-owned places. There are shoe cleaning and repairs. There is also... let me see what the name of the store is. Outside of one of them is kind of this old man. He's an orc. He looks very very clean, and even despite kind of the warm summer heat, you see on the back of his chair he's got a like a jacket. He would normally wearing a jacket and a dress shirt. He's taking the jacket off. It's on the back of the chair, and he's just sitting there, kind of sipping a cup. It looks like a little saucer, like it might have some tea or coffee in it. And he's sort of he's chit-chatting with people. Sort of, they walk by, you see someone smile, and he talks to them. But yeah, so those are the places you got there. Where do you want to go? The 3 stores I named you, I'll copy and paste these into the chat, so you have them. The first one is the one that the Buffalo Bill recommended you to.
Big Bay.
So we got there.
Gotta head to that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, you walk into Sedanita's. It is, it's a small but very, very nice shop. Behind the register, walking around talking to people, is a lovely elf, female. You would assume probably closer to middle age, but you know, elves tend to live longer in that perpetual 20 state. But she looks like she's probably older than 18 or so. She is dressed very, very nicely in this sort of black gown. It has a red sash in the middle, or kind of a red belt, and she's got these tall kind of silvery shoes. She has black hair and a red necklace that goes with the matches her belt. She smiles, she smiles more like someone who is greeting customers and someone who's genuinely happy to see you, as the 3 of you come in looking rather scruffy. You see this business. Let me see. There's also kind of some AR displays that talks about the uniforms that she also seems to design for. If you see, particularly, she's got one where she's shaking the hands of what looks like who was probably a president or somebody, kind of a city official. And you see a little like news article, which if any of you can read Spanish, which I'm hoping most of you can, you'll see that she was given the contract and she designed the uniforms that the Cuban law enforcement, the policia, wear around here. And she seems rather proud about that. She smiles at you. You guys goes, how can I help you, gentlemen?
Avalok will kind of, Mako will kind of look down at his jacket and kind of shrug and you know, obviously we could use a little bit of help. I'm in need of a new set of clothes. I was told by Buffalo Bill you're the best person to talk to.
Oh, when you mentioned Buffalo Bill, she kind of, her smile brightens a little bit, and she says, "Oh, come in, yes."
Oh yes, Buffalo Bill had nothing but good things to say about you. Couldn't stop raving about the work you've done for him.
Did he now? He's one of my more colorful clients. What are you exactly looking for? She comes over and starts to walk with you through the store.
What are we looking for?
I told you to Google Cuban styles to find it out.
I found something I wanted.
All right,
I'll send you a
Capsize.
picture.
Describe
I'll send
it
you a
for
picture.
us. Send it, if you just put it in the roll 20, I'll click on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. That is exactly what I want.
That. I'd be
mean-
like, so I need a button-up shirt, you know, any kind of dude. That hat looks really nice. Does that shirt come in a child small?
Do you have any hats that can fit over this? And he kind of gestures towards his head and the metal mohawk.
She'll smile at the 2 of you, and she will say, "Oh, well, that I do have some taller hats." And she pulls down one that's a little bit more like a fedora, and she puts it over and at this one at first, like, sits a little bit on top of your metal mohawk. She pulls that one up. She puts out a little bit one that's is made of that kind of, I don't know what they call that, like the straw material, like this outfit. What is that? Anyway, and she puts it down there, and it has a much taller, almost what might be a little bit comedic in a different crowd, but it's a little bit more like a cowboy hat almost in style, but still very round brimmed.
All right, yeah, he'll turn to Capsizer and Titan and be like, "All right, guys, tell me straight. Is this gonna work?" He kind of gestures his head kind of back and forth, asking for opinions on the hat.
I feel like you can't even wear a hat. I think I've ever seen you wear a hat.
So the one
Can you wear hats?
The
I
one
really haven't. I just always kind of want to.
The one he's got on looks a little bit more like this.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, that'll keep the sun out of your eyes for a while. I mean, if we're working long hours, might help.
All right, I'm taking it.
All right. You pull it down and put that one on. She looks down at Capsize as his request for a child, and she starts rummaging through her different shelves. She pulls out several shirts and kind of holds them up to you until she can find one that fits the size. And it does look about like that one in the picture. She'll say, "I think you're going to want something under this, no? Or is this more your style?"
Just an easy shirt. It doesn't have to be anything special.
And she gets down like kind of like a wife beater, right, to like an undershirt to
Yeah,
put
that's
under it,
fine.
and hands it to you. And she looks at like, and she pulls off a similar kind of style of pants, and she says, no. Even these tie at the waist are going to be too big. If you can give me a few hours, it'll be a little more expensive, but I can get these tailored to your size.
That's something I've always heard. I don't know if it's needed.
All right, she claps a little bit, and an assistant comes over and she hands it to this human girl that and takes off. She's like, and she speaks to her for a minute in I don't think any of you took any of the Creole languages, right?
Mm,
Okay.
We choose languages?
Well, I think I was just asking you for flavor whenever we were doing it. So, you could take them as a knowledge skill. So anyway, I think you guys were all from like the UCAS or from Spanish-speaking areas when we were going through it. So she
Well, I'm
speaks.
Yeah.
from around here, so if I know some of the dialect,
You wouldn't know the language. You would know that she's speaking in one of the Creole languages, but you speak Spanish, and maybe or you speak Spanish and or English a little bit. So, which I should make that note. Probably all of you were speaking in Spanish, meaning that you were from and around this area. I don't think anyone chose somewhere else. Definitely Titan probably speaks Spanish as his primary language. So yeah, she's speaking in a Creole language. You guys would recognize that much, at least, even if you don't understand what she says. And she hands it to the girl, and the girl nods and takes it to somewhere off to the back. And then she starts looking over Titan, and she's like, "Ooh, like let's see if I got any more shits that I designed for Bill." That's. And she starts rummaging through. What is Titan's style like? What do you think, Titan?
I honestly couldn't find anything that I liked, but it was, or not a picture of it, but it would probably either be shirtless with nice pants or shorts, or a shirt with no sleeves, because he's very proud of how strong he is.
Okay. So she will she'll go and she will pull out something that looks, I'm just gonna post this picture, about like this colored blue. And she will tell you like it looks like it was probably designed for a very large orc. And she'll say, "Well, we're gonna have to do the same for you. We're gonna have to take this out a little bit." And she'll say, I hope you don't like sleeves." And she calls that assistant over and begins talking to her. And when she explains how she's going to basically take the sleeves off of it and take it out a little bit so that you have room to be in it.
I'm used to it.
And she will otherwise get you a nice kind of there's kind of like bluish matching almost white like slacks to go with it. Or probably not slacks, probably something a little bit looser that ties at the waist, much like that first picture that the Capsize found. Okay, so after she's got kind of your orders, the clothing you're looking for, she's like, okay, well, I will have this. I charge a little bit extra for having to rush this. When do you need this by? You clearly look like you could use some grooming now.
Tonight. Before tonight, probably.
Oh, okay, yes, yes, yes. And she starts typing in AR. Well, it'll take me a little bit longer, and I charge a little bit extra to have these things rushed. But don't worry, you will get. I will have it back to you before the sun sets. Does that sound good?
That is acceptable.
Fantastic. She'll say, I take everything in cash, preferably crit stick, and she smiles. If you need a little bit more grooming, I do have a small spa in the back, and you're welcome to that. But come back when the clothes are ready, so you have something to change into. Until then, perhaps find something around, take a look around the district. So you guys got probably like 4 to 5 hours to kill until she's done.
Well, we haven't eaten in a while because it's been like, well, we haven't eaten probably in a day.
Or bathed.
That, too.
We bathed yesterday, or a couple days ago.
Salt water is not good for your skin,
That's
Titan.
right.
I keep telling you.
Still haven't got
fine
the
for
blood
my
out of your
skin.
shirt.
I mean, it's water, it's cleaning, right?
No.
I mean, she does have that spa thing, right? You think they might have a shower or something? Or at
Oh,
least like a
surely.
hose?
At the very least, I'm sure we can find a hose somewhere.
Alright, so you guys want to go out and find some food?
Food and something to clean up in.
Alright. So as I mentioned, there's a variety of little cafes and stuff around. There's one right across the street,
Simple enough.
and that you saw the old man drinking coffee and sitting at. It is is actually just named Cafe Cubano. I know, yeah, it's very creative. It has a lovely little outdoor area as well. It looks like it's primarily meant to. It has a few tables inside, and it's got this big, beautiful yellow and white striped canopy outside. And it looks like it's actually like an up and down style doors, almost like a garage, type door. And they swing it up in the morning and start serving food out of it. There's one or two little plastic tables inside, but for the most part, the seating is all outdoors. And that's where you saw that old man who's still there drinking coffee, that old orc. And you can go in there and order some tasty foodstuffs if you'd like. Or we can walk on down the street somewhere else.
I need to Google what Cuban cuisine.
Okay. Are we going across the street, or are we going down somewhere else?
I'll probably go across the street.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
You go across the street and you start looking at the food. It's a modest fare, but it does have a variety of small kind of seafood flavored dishes. In particular, what they have for the special today is a white rice with like these black beans on it. It does come with one plantain, and then it has like this kind of shrimp flavored sauce with a little sparse of actual real cilantro with it.
Real foods. I will take that.
I mean, it looks like real food. It's got real flavoring, right?
Yeah. Counts.
Yeah. Right. So you realize that you're kind of in this area while this area is a little bit more middle class, it's still way above what you guys normally make, and way better food than you're used to. You end up paying almost several days like wages on it, but it is so good. The plantain is crispily fried. The beans are tender. The shrimp flavor soaks into the rice, so you can sup it all up. And the sprig of cilantro is something that you've probably never tasted. It is delicious. And after having probably not eaten for nearly 24 hours or so, or less, it is fantastic.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whisper to Mako, like, we're just sitting there eating, I'm like, we're gonna have to take over a cargo ship and keep paying for everything we're doing.
Yeah, we can't live like this for long, but I guess we gotta enjoy it while we can.
Well, we may be dead tonight, so you know what? Let's enjoy it.
Not tonight, then tomorrow.
Oh, Ginger Snap's gonna kill us for what we did to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So the old orc who's sitting there, who was sipping coffee and just kind of watching people go by, he looks over at you and it's like, you young gentlemen look rather troubled. And he's like, yeah, looks at like Mako's feet and he's like, you could really use yourself a new pair of shoes there. What do you describe? What does Mako's shoes look like? You think? What has he got on his
I
feet?
imagine they're boots. They're probably not shoes normally.
Yeah.
They're probably like work boots. Probably stomping like little bits of grease on the side.
What kind of condition are they in? Well weathered, you'd say?
I would say very well weathered, very very stained probably as well.
Do you actually still do? Okay. So I got ask the same question of yeah. So he'll lean back. He'll see those boots. And he's like, you could really, if you could find you something better walking around here, if you're going to take care of yourself, you gotta really, ladies notice feet worse. That's it's just one of those things, And he kind of smiles at you, and he's just really old orc who's seems rather cheerful. He's just looks like he just wants to gossip and chit chat with somebody. And currently the place is empty except for the three of you nomming food.
I don't think that's the first thing ladies notice about me.
He'll smile. Describe to me your footwear, Titan. Do you have trouble finding shoes as a troll?
Titan definitely has trouble finding shoes as a troll. So it is probably like 2 soles of 2 boots that are like stitched together with leather, and then over the top he's just got like a bunch of leather strapped over top of it as best he could, and then he's punched holes so he could actually have places for laces.
Do you still have both of them after your trip into the ocean?
Oh yeah, unless they fell apart. Like that's the only way they're coming off most of the time.
What about capsize? How's your footwear capsize?
I feel like he has like probably similar like work boots, maybe not as big as like Mako's, but they're probably weathered work shoes sort of thing.
Yeah, well, you'll see after you've kind of started chit-chatting about the shoes there, he's tried to talk to you about it. You see he's got like a little wooden open case, I want to call it a case, a little wooden open crate next to him. Not even cart crate, just a little, anyway, whatever. It's got a shoe shining kit in it. Like he's got all the little rags and whatnot and leathers and stuff, and it looks like he probably shoe shines as his typical day. But right now he's just sitting there, kind of sitting back. It looks like he doesn't have any business. You haven't seen anybody come up to him in this time that he's been sitting here. And he'll say, he'll look at Titan again and be like, "You'd be surprised what a woman will look at. You'd be surprised what shoes will tell you about a person. When's the last time you noticed someone's shoes?"
The last time I needed to fix mine.
He kind of chuckles and he says, "I can see there it looks like you made those yourself, maybe. You're a local then, yes?"
Kind of.
Oh, he'll smile.
I won't tell him exactly that I was part of Bodnar's area, but I will mention something over in that general direction. A city maybe that's close, or town.
Alright, you kind of mentioned the district over there where the Bonars call home. And he'll smile and give you a wink. He'll say, "Don't worry, I've been shining shoes here for 30 years. I know what it's like for no one to pay attention to the old orc. After all, little people like us tend to be forgotten amongst all of these." And he nods and like waves at the tourists and like, but it's always good to sometimes go unnoticed, You get to you hear things, hear rumors, much like your troubles with Ginger Snap there.
And what have you heard, old man?
What'd you ask him?
Oh, what he's heard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I heard, lately I hear that somebody has been chasing around oh, jeez, I gotta pronounce it. a chicken, Chicachanari. Chicachanari. Been chasing around a Chicachanari out there by, old, Papa Hemingway's old place. Apparently some little gangers been chasing around a flock of them somewhere around there, trying to get an extra meal and sell them down to the squatters.
I was really hoping you were gonna say chicken nugget, but
You would know these creatures to be locals of the islands in the Caribbean, so they are court of these. I'll give you a good description of them. They are about 1 meter tall. They're kind of a barn owl. They have kind of feet like a chicken, and sometimes they have like fur on like the main part of their body. They are kind of disproportionate and have these really short wings that are awkward, and they just resemble kind of like a chicken in that respect, like hopping and flapping their wings rather than actually flying around.
and who are chasing these things? I'm sorry, I blinked out.
I tell you, it's either some of the squatters or some of the gangers have been chasing a variety of them. One in particular, one really old one they say, has been roosting out there south of San Francisco de Paula. He says I also hear there's a bounty on one of the Batistas and forces. Very expensive. Huh? Bounty's not the right word. A contract. That's what the gentleman said. Someone was in town to try to find for that.
And I will give Capsize and Mako a look like, yeah, you want to go get that? It might help us. Well, I guess I can't say all that, but
I sit back and like I can't touch the Bautistas. I can't take that contract. I could kill some chicken owl thing if you want. Like, I got a good gun that will definitely light up any of those little things.
He smiles to me and he's like, so what brings you to this part of town, the three of you? I see you come out of Sedanitas, getting yourself some new threads in. Looking to please, going out on the nightlife, pleasing some ladies? And he just smiles and laughs really gruffly.
We're just trying to please a certain lady, sir. About it. Plus, looking like wet rats doesn't always feel nice.
Yes, I would imagine she's a difficult one to please, yeah?
I think so.
I've never met her myself. I met her father once, though. That was way back when, before he was killed. He was polite enough, though her surly attitude clearly didn't pass along. How long have you boys been sailors?
A few years. I'm not sure about the others, though.
I can see you don't seem to be like a chatting sort. He'll smile like, I'll leave you to your meal. I've got to get back to work. And he picks up his kit and goes across the street, gives you a nice smile, and you can see him start talking to tourists and offering them like a shoe shine.
You don't have to be that mean, Titan. Come on. You scared him away.
I couldn't think of anything else to say. But I am thinking, what if we went and got this bounty? If we can get the bounty, Ginger might not be so mad at us for missing the cargo.
Like I said, I can't touch that. That family is powerful. You don't want to mess with powerful people.
Okay, you gonna sit at the cafe and just hang out for a bit till your clothes are ready.
I think we still want to go get washed up. Mako,
Yep.
capsize?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right.
All right, you guys start wandering along kind of the Zapato's walkway, just looking at all the things. You get down to an area that has a little bit of just a very small side beach, and you find these sort of showers that have, like the showers you just, well, I should put, it's in like a closed concrete building. It's got a roof on top of it, and there are public showers inside of it, one for men, one for women. You can go around to the side of the inside of the shower and in front of it, and you have to deposit a little bit of nuyen. But when you do, you can open the door, and it's almost like a large, it goes ceiling to floor, large this shower. The shower head is in the ceiling, and after you can press an AR button, and it just starts to pour down very cold water, which actually isn't too bad considering how hot it is outside in the summer heat.
Now, could I hack this so we don't have to pay New Yen?
You absolutely can.
I want to do that.
All right, so we're gonna want to hack it. Well, before we do that, since we're gonna start doing some rules, let's take a quick 5-minute break because I realize we've been playing for almost 2 hours, and now we are to the point we are going to take showers.
Excellent.
So, we'll see if we can't get Todd on, who
Unproductive.
I think is going to be off work here pretty soon. So, sorry to all the viewers who just stopped in. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and we will be right back.